Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Leap Quantum Leap morning session for Thursday, September the 7th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place. We do not know what the market's going to do. We simply put a plan together based on the different auction probabilities, and then wait to see what the market is actually doing, and then execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so the big announcement, of course, is I have rolled over. So everything we're going to talk about today is on the December contract. The structure doesn't change, just the levels do. But taking a quick look at what we were expecting yesterday, we were expecting responsive selling back down to close the gap, possibly close the naked VPOC. Of course, the numbers are slightly different because I'm showing a December contract here, but we are looking for buyers to step in somewhere in that area and then rotate us back up and take us back up towards the microcomposite VPOC, and that's exactly what we happened. It happened in slow motion. It was a slow, grindy day that basically was very tough to find a spot to get in, but ultimately the day played out as anticipated. Taking a look at the news, we just had jobless claims. Excuse me, came out just slightly better than expected. Non-farm productivity came out just slightly better than expected. Building permits for Canada were down significantly. Right now, Draghi is speaking, so you could expect some more volatility as he continues to speak. We've got central bank reserves coming out. Oh, that's not even important. 57 minutes, we've got Bloomberg consumer confidence. 10 o'clock, we've got Canadian PMI, IV PMI, and then we've got natural gas. Crude is going to be half hour late today. It's going to be 11 o'clock versus 10:30. And then we've got Mester speaking. Other news, Fisher resigned yesterday as well. But that's it basically for the news. But there's still lots of headline news with the debt ceiling and and North Korea and the president. So just keep things tight. Hold on a second. I got to adjust the position here. Sorry about that. So let's take a look at the market, macro to micro. I'm just going to use the continuous contract because I'm not caring about the actual levels. I'm just looking to see where we are in the different time frames, and how strong is the trend. You can see the monthly trend is very strong. Now we've got the rollover going on. Our September all-time high is 88.50. Our December all-time high is 86.25. I expect those to be equalized, so I'm expecting the December contract to eventually come up and take out this 24.8850 on the September contract. But the trend is very much intact. The weekly, we came down and tested the 20 SMA, and we've bounced back. We've got the continuation of the trend on the weekly. On the daily, we're in this consolidation mode, but we are above the 9 and the 20 and starting to get some slope and separation. On the 4-hour, we did have a move down, and we're currently basically going sideways right now in a consolidation mode on the 4-hour, but we're above the 9 and the 20. 1 hour, you can see we're get a possible upward trend. We are above the 9 and the 20. On the 30-minute, you can see that accelerates and the trend is up. We do have a naked cross down here, so we're going to watch that. We'll have to look at that on the December contract. In fact, let's go to the December contract. So that naked cross is at 24.60.50, and the trend is definitely up. That's on the 30-minute. On the 15-minute, you can see continuation of the trend, and on the 5-minute, we just put in a naked cross right here at I'd call it 64, but we are trying to move up. Taking a look at the structure of the market, again, the structure doesn't change, just the numbers. So this micro composite that we've been paying close attention to as we come back up here, the value area low was 65. It's now 63.50. The VPOC was 69. It is now 67.25. And the value area high was 75. It is now 73.25. We've got a current 6-day micro composite VPOC. The VPOC shifted down. It was up at the 67. In the last 3 days, it's shifted down here. So they're trying to hold value, but it's lower right now, and that has to be a concern in terms of showing some weakness. I'm not worried about it too much until we get below the 58.75, which becomes our key line in the sand. It was 60.75 yesterday. And the value area is pretty wide, so I'm not too concerned about that value as I am about this value right here. We're in this distribution zone. It's pretty blunt here, so we could see some more chop around between the 63 and the 67 area. But the key is if we get below the 58 that I'm looking for, a push down into the 56 and then the 53, 52.50. Value area low, and if we don't hold that, then I'm looking for the bigger trip down back towards the 41. Our week low is 43.75 on the December contract. Our weekly ATR is running at the 20-period weekly full session ATR is running at 35.175. So our upside ATR weekly target is 79. And that's certainly within our daily range today. The downside weekly ATR is all the way down to at 34.25. So I think it's less of a likelihood that we test the weekly downside ATR today versus the upside. So let's take a look at the Globex. We opened and we had that big spike down. FUBAR, this is a classic FUBAR Mr. Sneaky, but it took a long time to play out. But, that was basically the trade of the night. And our inventory is about, I'd say, 80% net short on volume or price and time. So if they continue to move up and they get above the 67.25, we could see some shorts getting squeezed, and we could get acceleration. And I'm thinking possibly up to that 69. We're going to start testing some of our September key numbers. September contract key numbers, and right now the key one there is 69 that I'm looking at. So take our levels. Let's start moving them over. We're making new highs, so there's not much I can do there. Our overnight low right now is down at 55.75. Our VPOC has shifted up, and I doubt it's going to shift again, and that's at 64. There's an LVN here at 62.25. And we've got the midpoint at 62, so I'm going to use that as a trade area. And so far, we'll just put the overnight high in at 66.25. Probably going to change. This is probably going to, do what it's been doing a lot of and take out the overnight high right on the open. And then there's 58, this thin area down here, and that's just below this 58.50. So 58.50 is going to be my over-under line. Sorry, it's going to be my key line in the sand. And then there's not much more here. Obviously, any breakout above this the prior day range, I'm looking for a move to the 69. The former microcomposite VPOC, and we've got the range high just above there at, I'm going to use a 70.25 because it was a level I was using before, and then we've got the 72. The was it 70? Sorry, I'm going to use 73.25. And I'm going to use the 69.75, 69.50. All right, 76 weekly ATR is up there, and then we've got to put in the 86.25. And the 88.50. And taking a look at our levels below, we've got the 56 just in front of the overnight low. I'm going to leave the overnight low. I think if we go down there, we'll take that out. And then we've got the 52.50. And then the next big target below is going to be 41.50. And of course, we have the current month low down here at the 43.75. Okay, so those are our levels. What is my hypothesis? It doesn't change, believe it or not. It does not change again. I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for responsive selling down into the 63 to 58.50 area. Looking for those buyers to step in again and grind us up towards the 69. and chop around there and then push through into this 73 and take a trip through value of that microcomposite value area, then fall back and close somewhere between 69 and 67. I'm not looking for a lot of range today. That's my main hypothesis. My hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push up, a false breakout, maybe a push through to 69, but then finding responsive sellers, rotating us down into the value area and chopping around in the value area with possibly a late date probe down to test the 58.50, but closing somewhere in around the 63. Hypo 3 is a open test drive and failure to take out the VPOC, push up into the 68, 69 area, chop between the range high, fight this high, and then push up into the 75 to 76 area, chop here and push up, and I don't think we'll get to new highs, but a run towards the two unequalized all-time highs. And then hypo 4 is failure, and that is a failure to break above the prior day range, have selling coming in, come down into the 60 to 58.50, chop in that area, fail, take out the overnight low and come down here into the 53 and close somewhere down here near the value area low of this microcomposite. We've still got a lot of unauctioned territory in this current microcomposite. So that's my four main hypotheses. There is a fifth alternative hypothesis where we just go sideways inside of yesterday's range. But I think that's unlikely that we have another inside day. But we did have almost a doji day yesterday, so that has to be a possibility. Gold has finally gone and hit the target. We've been talking about gold hitting that 50. We came close the other day. We got as high as the 49.70, missed it by 3 ticks, fell back $13.30, and then on the news this morning we spiked up and we got as high as 53. 53.60, and we're currently trading 3 ticks below the 1350. Look for gold to chop in this area today as it bases around the 1350, but I'm still looking for continuation. We've got a break out of this value that we created. So we went into price discovery. Okay, we came up here, we balanced for 3 days. We've got our breakout of value, and we're in price discovery again, but we're likely to chop between here and the 56 area and create another balance area. How big of a range did we have today so far? We have a low of 37.20 and a high of 53. So pretty big range already today in gold. It's going to be tough to trade right here because we haven't been here for a long time. I'd be watching this 45. If we can't hold the 45, look for them to move down through value down towards this 39 again. But I'm expecting things to go somewhat sideways and get choppy in gold coming into the RTH session. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.